The internet is an amazing place, but once in a while, you might stumble upon its slightly weirder side. It's a place full of strange things, and some things which just can't be explained. With the advent of photo editing tools, it's become fairly easy for just about anyone to fake some scary photo. But before the digital age we live in now, some scary and unexplained things have been caught in photographs. With that said, we bring you 5 pictures that cannot be explained. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. The Mystery of the Civil War Pterodon Photograph. This old-looking photo shows a few Union soldiers and a large pterosaur that we're led to believe was shot down by those men. The big question is whether or not this is an accurate version of a real photographic recording during the Civil War. Pterodon is a genus of pterosaurs that included some of the largest known flying reptiles. Most of these ancient dinosaurs had a wingspan of over 6 meters or 20 feet wide and existed in North America, specifically present-day Kansas, Alabama, Nebraska, Wyoming, and South Dakota. According to the story, the bird was shot down by soldiers during the American Civil War in 1864 near the city of Vicksburg. For over 200 years, people in these areas of the United States have reported enormous birds. The bird sightings are so prevalent that the creatures have been given the name Thunderbirds, which is taken from Native American mythology. In many cases, Thunderbird reports are accompanied by large footprints. Probably the most controversial report surfaced on July 25, 1977, when a group of 3 children from Lawndale, Illinois claimed that 2 giant birds chased them and then grabbed a 10-year-old boy named Marlon Lowe. One of the birds reportedly clamped down on the boy's shoulder with its claws, lifted him about 2 feet off the ground, carried him some distance, and then released him. Thunderbird sightings continue to intrigue cryptozoologists to this day. The creatures are said to have lizard-like features, which is similar to the extinct pterosaurs. In the 1950s, the unusual photograph was published in a Believe It or Not type of book in the US. The picture shows a collection of American Civil War soldiers standing over an enormous bird carcass. The carcass holds a strong resemblance to a pterodon. The story says that the publication referred to the creature as some kind of unknown bird or monster. In an interesting twist, there's a second photograph on the internet that displays the exact same scene but is known to be faked. The picture's not as convincing, but was made to look similar to be original for a television show named Freaky Links, which aired on the Fox network. The fake picture shows soldiers standing over a different carcass. The image is deceiving, and the fact that there are 2 photographs that show the same thing has discredited the original. Whatever the case, the picture remains an interesting story. Perhaps the photograph is real, and these soldiers downed an ancient dinosaur survivor. We may never know the truth. Number 4. Black Knight Satellite Mystery. A legendary alien satellite that is said to have orbited Earth for nearly 13,000 years has been caught on camera twice, passing the International Space Station and the Moon, UFO hunters claim. There are currently more than 100,000 satellites orbiting the Earth, from space junk to high-tech probes transmitting signals back to Earth. But one of these satellites is thought to be of extraterrestrial origin and has been circling our planet prior to the launch of the Sputnik. This mysterious spacecraft is known as the Black Knight satellite, alleged to be of alien provenance and covered up by NASA for more than 60 years. While most man-made satellites orbit in prograde due to the ease and fuel efficiency of using the Earth's natural gravitational pull, the Black Knight is said to orbit in retrograde, adding to its curious nature. But is it actually an alien satellite monitoring our planet, or simply a thermal space blanket like NASA has claimed the photo evidence of it to be? Recently, a series of fast radio bursts were picked up by Stephen Hawking's Breakthrough Listen initiative, which some have speculated could be coming from the technology of an advanced extraterrestrial species. This wouldn't be the first time that a scientist picked up signals from the cosmos and believed it to be of alien origin. Nearly a century ago, Nikola Tesla claimed to have recorded electrical signals at his laboratory in Colorado Springs that were of intelligent nature. Tesla had been working on the technology for his Wardenclyffe Tower when he noticed signals which were not of earthly origin and could be ruled out as being weather-related. He believed the signals were being transmitted from a civilization on Mars, so he developed a device to send signals back out to make contact. Tesla was arguably the most well-versed in radio signal transmission at the time, having pioneered the technology, so it's hard to imagine that he would have been confused by any earthly interference. No one knows exactly what those signals were that Tesla picked up, but some believe that it might have been a transmission from the Black Knight satellite. Not long after Tesla's reception, an amateur radio operator in Norway named Jørgen Hals recorded transmission called long-delayed echoes, or LDEs. A theory by Stanford professor Ron Bracewell proposed that these echoes were the product of an alien satellite picking up radio signals from Earth and rebroadcasting them back, creating a delay of several seconds. Some have speculated that the Black Knight could be this theoretical satellite, also known as a Bracewell probe. Are we transmitting all of our radio and TV signals to an alien race? Only time will tell. Number 3. Ghost of the Church. In August 1975, a woman named Diane Berthelot visited the St. Mary Church in Worstead, North Norfolk in the United Kingdom, along with her husband and son. They had ducked into the church to get out of the heat. Diane took a seat on a pew towards the front of the church while her husband took some photographs. It wasn't until they returned home after the holiday that Diane found an extra dressed in old-fashioned clothes and a bonnet seated behind her. This extra looks to be wearing old-fashioned clothes, perhaps made of the Worstead cloth the village is well known for, and a bonnet. She's also bathed in a bright white light. It was quite a curiosity for them, and a curiosity it remained until their holiday back to North Norfolk during the next summer. The Berthelot family returned to the church and showed the photo to a vicar. He explained the legend of the White Lady and told them she was a caring, healing soul. It was at this point that Diane realized the ailment she had been struggling with for some time had in fact eased somewhat after that original visit a year before. The legend stated that the White Lady would appear every Christmas Eve, and anyone who witnessed her would suffer an untimely death. This gentleman, not believing in such tomfoolery, stated that he would stay in the church, and if the White Lady appeared, he would kiss her. As it also happened to be Christmas Eve, he was definitely keen to put the legend to the test, and show these backward local folk a thing or two. He entered the church and climbed the belfry. After a time, and with anxiety building over his late return, his friends went searching for him. They found him huddled in the belfry. He was shaking with fright and muttering to himself. He was obviously dying. His last words were, "I've seen her." This story is now adorned in pride of place at the White Lady pub in Worstead. Once known as the New Inn, it changed its name to the White Lady in 2011, when its new owner took over the business. The owner took inspiration from his own home, the building which used to be the King's Head. So, with the Lady in White apparently the cause for at least one untimely demise on Christmas Eve, you may be surprised to find out that locals now believe she is a more benevolent spirit. Number 2. Time travel memento left in Chinese tomb. A mystery continues to surround the curious excavation of a strange artifact and those who recovered it from the deaths of an ancient tomb in China. When archaeologists reportedly discovered a modern-looking, mud-encrusted artifact from a 400-year-old sealed tomb, they were completely astonished. For some, this type of discovery would have only meant one thing. It was evidence of time travel. Was the discovery real? Was it a hoax? Could the find have been an intriguing artifact out of place in time? In 2008, a team of archaeologists had made a puzzling discovery. Reports described the team as comprised of archaeologists and journalists filming a documentary at a dig at a sealed tomb dating to the Ming Dynasty in Shaanxi, southern China. As one of the coffins was being cleared of soil before being opened, a strange thing happened. While removing the soil, a piece of rock dropped off and hit the ground with a metallic sound. When they picked up the object, they thought they'd found some ring, but after removing the soil and getting a closer look at it, they were surprised and shocked to see it was a watch. The strange metallic object was said to be a small golden ring with a watch face on its front, approximately 2 millimeters thick. Tiny hands on the watch showed the time had frozen at 10:06. Most astonishing of all, the back of the diminutive watch was said to have the word Swiss or Switzerland written in English. So how is it possible that a tomb sealed for 400 years and dating to the Ming Dynasty had a tiny watch in it? Well, some researchers cite the possibility of time travelers who came from the future and who dropped a modern ring in an ancient location, accidentally leaving their anachronistic possession behind. The evidence for this is scant, but it is an intriguing idea. Could it be that this whole incident is a hoax? The strange mystery of the tiny metal ring watch has remained thus far unsolved. There is no clear evidence to prove it's a definite object out of place in time, nor enough facts to condemn it as a mere hoax. What is certain, however, is that it is a story which ignites the imagination and urges us to reconsider how it might have come to be nestled in a Ming Dynasty tomb far before its time. Number 1. Amityville Ghost Boy. When George and Kathy Lutz moved into the 3-story colonial in Amityville on New York's Long Island in December 1975, they were thrilled. The sprawling house at 112 Ocean Avenue had cost them just $80,000, and they loved it. It was a dream come true, George Lutz remembers. True, the house had been the scene of a horrible multiple murder a little over a year before, when 23-year-old Ronnie DeFeo went from room to room methodically shooting his parents and his 4 brothers and sisters in their beds, but the Lutzes sat down with their 3 young children and agreed the family could handle it. However, a photo taken by George Lutz inside the famous haunted Amityville house in 1976 has become one of the most famous paranormal photos of all time. It features what appears to be a young boy with white eyes who's peeking out of a doorway. George Lutz, who discovered the haunted house, revealed the Amityville Ghost Boy photo on the Merv Griffin show back in 1979. 3 years after it was taken. The image was supposedly captured by Gene Campbell, a professional photographer who was part of the team who worked with paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Gene had set up an automatic camera that took infrared pictures to capture the second-floor landing during the night. Equipped with black and white film, his camera captured this Amityville Ghost Boy photo that some have speculated could be the ghost of the murdered child, John DeFeo, who lived in the house with his family prior to the Lutzes. Alright, Top 5ers, if you haven't already, make sure to visit our other channel, The Brilliant, for even more interesting list videos that'll blow your mind. Oh, but I'm warning you, the videos over on The Brilliant are extremely addicting to watch as well. There'll be a link in the description to the channel, so make sure to come and visit us. Or you can go to our latest video popping up on screen right now. Oh, and have you visited thefinestpost.com to enjoy the most amazing articles you will ever get to read?